And welcome to the TwoFiveOh, the podcast where thousands must die so that Caesar may become great. With me as always is my co-host Jonathan. How are you, John?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? How's it going?
You weren't expecting that, right?
It's literally on the script here. I'm stupid.
Yeah, no. You gotta keep it together.
Yep.
If this is your first time tuning into the TwoFiveOh, which is probable because this is the first episode, we have taken a snapshot of IMDb's top 250 movies of all time as of January 2020 and have begun watching them from number 250 through to number 1. In this podcast, we discuss our opinions, thoughts, and reactions to the movies within. Today's movie is number 250, Infernal Affairs.
Directed by Andrew Lau and Alan Mark, and written by Alan Mark and Felix Chong in 2002. Infernal Affairs is a crime thriller about an undercover cop in a drug gang and a mole in the Hong Kong Police Department, racing to find each other before they get found themselves. That
was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm.
Can I watch the movie?
I've got a face for radio.
That just hit me.
Douglas and I don't really have much trouble like chatting about like just nonsense, so I felt like pretty good about this podcast, but I almost felt like watching all these films might become a bit of a chore. That was a stupid thought, because this film is fucking amazing.
Kicks ass. It's great.
It's so good. I can't think of a thriller that I've watched that just had me on my seat in like the big thrill scenes of it than this.
For sure.
And to be fair, as Douglas is well aware, there's a lot of films I haven't watched.
So this is going to be a real eye-opening experience. This whole process is.
Yeah, that might be fair. I haven't watched loads of stuff, but it's a thriller and it does the thrill bit really
this
good.
Is one that you can add to the list of
good thriller
ones.
films. It's at the top of the list, and then
top. Wow.
Yeah, because I don't know what else I would put on it.
Sure.
Yeah,
and that's valid.
I didn't really have much issues with it being a Hong Kongian film. I'm pretty sure that's how they say it.
Chinese?
No, they're Hong Kong directors.
Well, yeah.
It's set in Hong Kong.
Well, sure. Okay. Hong Kongian.
Yeah, Hong Kong.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Come on, man. How'd you like it, Douglas?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. There were moments where it kind of lost me a little bit, but I think that's just because there's a bit of the language barrier. And the subtitled track that we had seemed occasionally inconsistent.
It was okay.
It was across the board. It was pretty good.
It was a little distracting.
A couple moments where I was kind of
did you mean to write that like that? Okay. But
and I'm sure the film makes perfectly adequate sense in its original language.
If you can speak Chinese, if you can, I guess, understand Chinese, easy as you like, not a problem.
Absolutely. That's but yeah, I was quite blown away, to be honest. Was not expecting the film to be as good as it was.
It really, and this is our pre-spoiler stuff, so I'm gonna be a bit vague.
Yeah.
But it really hits the ground running with the intro. It introduces the key characters very neatly, so who they are.
It's so early noughties, like all of the editing and all of the slow motion shots and everything, and the boo boo boo, all that sort of stuff. I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna write a note. Okay, I'm writing a note in here for the past spoilers. 2000 era editing. We will talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
It really like jumps in. It tells you who these main characters are, what we can expect of them, what kind of like where they are as people in this pre-story segment of time before we actually get thrown in there.
Delve into, but it doesn't linger too long.
It's only about
getting
10 minutes.
You up to speed.
And then they
once
throw
you're
you
up to
straight
speed,
into the first like big
it doesn't really let off the pedal.
Yeah, which is cool. I appreciate it. It has one bit between that and the like big thrilling cool first bit.
Yeah.
But felt fine, no complaints. And then it gets into it, man. It's so good. And it was always there were a couple of bits where I was like, I think I can kind of pick where this is going because, you know, we're only halfway into the film, so they're obviously not going to do something that'll conclude it really early, but there are a lot of big surprises. It's
a very short film. It's only it's just over an hour and a half. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's fucking snappy. It's in and it's out.
Did appreciate because I only started watching it at fucking 10:30 p.m. So
this is going to be another on-brand thing of the 250, us watching movies very late at night.
Just totally abusing my body for the good of the internet.
Absolutely.
You have me to thank for this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other spoilery
spoilery
stuff.
things.
The cinematography, I think without going into too many specifics, 2000 era is probably a good way to, like, noughties era is a good way to summarize
describe it. Yeah.
It didn't seem very, like, super flashy, but there was also, like, there was no obvious, like, teal and orange color grading, which I did appreciate because it's very... It is very gritty. It does take itself very seriously. There
were some flashes of brilliance, though, like in some of the composure of shots and things like that. That you can, I really appreciated the extent that the directors and Andrew Lau and Alan Mark went to get some of the shots and to really hold on some of the shots. I think was really important. There's some really good. That's what builds the tension of a lot of those scenes is the way that they just really linger on characters and their expressions while still keeping the pace alive. I mean, that's such a tightrope to walk, and I think they do it excellently. Yeah.
Awesome. So I mean,
I think that's about all we can really cover without getting into spoilers.
Pushing into it too far.
My recommendation is obviously go see this movie.
Yeah, this is a really good start, and I would highly recommend checking this out.
Real strong start for the 250, so that's good.
Yeah. All right, we should keep that going now.
It's a solid thriller, like a really good. Just it feels like the backbone of what a thriller movie should be.
Very pared down, very just the essentials kind of thriller film.
Yep. Just simplistic enough that you can understand what's going on, but still enough there to keep you engaged and keep the tension up, which is, that's perfect.
And not vapid, or it feels very real in the way that a lot of the characters kind of react and hold themselves and stuff.
Absolutely. The acting is very grounded, like really, really well
and the writing as well.
Yep.
So big thumbs up. Watch it.
2 big thumbs up.
If you haven't watched it,
from the boys,
and you keep listening, I'll come to your house and I will throw a brick through your window.
That's recorded now, so someone can take that as.
Well, look, as long as I don't throw any bricks through any windows, then I think I'm okay. So I just gotta...
Someone throws a brick through the window and they're like, what the hell? I listened to this podcast one time.
Yeah. It was a threat. I should have known.
But yes, I would highly suggest going to watch the movie. And then, if you'd like, come baback and listen to us delve a little bit deeper.
To your local Video Easy.
Yep.
Grab it on VHS.
Are they still open?
They are
Video
not.
Shit.
I think there's like one in America.
I think
sense. There's one, and because it's franchised.
Yeah.
Anyway, spoiler time. Jonathan,
they're shutting down those.
Post-edit, Jonathan, put in the foghorn now.
They're shutting down those what is it? The red box thingies.
I swear we've seen more of them since Netflix really picked up. Right? One of them came to my local supermarket, and it was not there a year ago, and I'm very confused. But
no! You know what it is actually? Sorry, they're shutting down their games department of it, so they're not going to let you rent games through it anymore. They're just focusing on.
That's going to be really tough for me. A person who does not have a disk drive on his computer.
No, for like PlayStation 4, Xbox, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You're just yanking my chain.
Yeah, I'm just having a little yank, fellas.
Okay, spoilers. So
Spoiler time. Spoiler time. The foghorn's already been, okay? This is
okay.
spoilers.
Okay, all right, okay.
The 2000 era editing. I have a note in my book of this. When I think it happens twice or maybe 3 times, where there's like a shocked moment, and it goes to like black and white.
Exactly
and
what
like
you're talking about.
And it goes to like a close shot of the characters' faces, and it goes to like 2 or 3 characters, and I'm like, oh my god,
Here we go.
this is a fucking classic. God damn.
God, I love
But that's
it.
like, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's something they'd mostly gotten out of their systems, like by the 2000s.
By
honestly.
2000s, that's what I thought, but I mean, when it started happening in this movie, I was like, I guess not. I guess they had a little bit more in them.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, if it works, it works. If you can't polish a turd, so you
Okay,
just,
no, that's very reductive. You can't polish a turd. It's a good
you
movie.
Go for it. It is a good movie. It's just, I don't know. I don't quite agree with some of that editing. I feel like, for me, it pulls me out a bit.
Those particular shots.
Just the way it's edited.
Okay, I think those shots, they did pull me out of it. But I think the scenes in particular, I don't have to be fucking coy about this anymore. In particular, the one that's sticking in my mind is when Jan gets shot at the end, and it zooms in on Lau's face and the other guy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a lot.
And then
I think the superintendent. I think the same thing happened.
Where the road goes, that kind of music starts playing.
Oh, okay. I thought it actually played that song, and I forgot to note it down. That would have been embarrassing.
It was that kind of music though. It was like some real Enya shit.
That was like, those shocks really got me when they. Like, obviously, the superintendent thing, that he gets caught in an elevator, and you're like, uh-oh, this isn't going to be good. But I was like, surely these people, they're not going to kill the superintendent of the police. Yeah. Like my brain was like, oh, no, he's fine. He's going to get beat up. He might have, like, a broken arm. He might get hospitalized or something. And then Jan walks out of the hotel, and he falls onto the car, and I was just like, huh.
Yeah, it's so fucking surprising.
Holy shit.
We're built up with this preconception that whenever, someone in tight space, is coming up against the bad guys, and then, it's that brief cutaway, so you don't get to see the action, but, you have that preconception in your mind, and I guess of who this character is, that he's going to get out of it. It's all going to be fine. Yeah. But then to have that wrench thrown in the works, and they take that hard left turn and go, no, he's dead. Like, that's it. They toss him off the fucking roof. After, what is it? They beat him up for like 10 minutes.
They beat him up for 10 minutes.
Toss him off the roof.
Tossed him off. They beat him up to try and get information out of him.
Yeah. They try and find out who the mole is, and then fucking run him off.
Which is like, poor bastard.
And then Jan has to turn around and fucking just look at his body.
That was
powerful, real powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's just like looking him in the face, and I'm just like, buddy, you got to get out of there. But like, I feel you.
Backtracking from Wong's death just a little bit in the first operation, with all of the Morse code stuff and the Morse code idea that lingers throughout the movie, I think that's a really neat move, and something that you wouldn't think to include that in something. If I was writing something today, I feel like I wouldn't think to include that, and screenwriters in our current climate wouldn't think to involve something like that for fear of being irrelevant, I think.
Right, okay.
A lot of people know who Morse code is, but I feel like there's a lot of...
Morse code is? Sorry, continue.
You're going to be dealing sass to me for fucking 249 movies. I gotta...
Yeah, look, you've only got another 249 to deal with. Don't worry about it. It's only a couple more years.
Yeah. No, I thought that Morse code idea was really cool, and how they executed it was very clever, because they didn't fucking like, he's doing Morse code. Like they they just very subtly put it in there, and then in case you didn't quite get it, they've got that bit with Ming like reading the Morse code book later on. And then from that moment, you know, you can put 2 and 2 together and go, oh, he was doing Morse code back in that fucking first operation, and that's how they figured all that shit out.
I think that whole first operation is such a cool scene. That whole thing, just
it's a good mood setter.
I guess chapter. But it's so cool. It's like probably the best part of the film, I think, because it was really,
and it's really got that cat and mouse thing going on.
Exactly.
And,
that's exactly what it was. And like how Lao Ming. Everyone refers to him as Lao. He sends the call out on every phone in the area or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so clever, and it was so cool because they just showed all the people on the street getting this phone call and
getting the call,
text, sorry, and then the actual intended recipient of the phone call receiving it. But you know, the film doesn't have to explain to you what it said, and
it treats its audience with a lot of intelligence, and I really appreciate that. I think. But
it's also not too esoteric. It's not an Inception.
Yeah, fuck. It's not. Oh, sorry to jump back to.
No, go for it.
The character that receives the text, Hon Sam, as the kind of drug cartel leader dude. He was very charismatic.
I liked him a lot.
I really enjoyed his character and his performance in this movie. The bit where he's in the interviewing with Superintendent Wong.
Yes.
And he swipes all the food off the table and starts cleaning himself up and everything. He just has this real energy in the room and the people that he's around. Yeah, I think he was a really cool character, really well written, and then really well executed by Eric Sang.
Eric Sang. Good on you, buddy. Is he still around? Is he still... I mean, this film's only 20 years old, so... I hope so. But...
You'd hope. Fingers crossed.
I think I just, my brain just assumed he was, 70 or something. He's probably,
he's alive.
35
he's
in
alive.
that film. Yeah, he's still around.
He would have been 49. When they
filmed. Okay.
49, 48 when they filmed.
Yeah, which fits, because he's this, this...
He was in a movie last year.
Oh, really? What was he in?
Called The Last Thieves.
Is that another Hong Kong film?
It's a Taiwanese film by the looks of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting enough. 8.2 on IMDb, but only with 70 reviews. So
yeah.
So that won't be making the list. But he was just rounding out that thought. Yeah, he was a big highlight for me.
Him in the intro as well. He was very because you've got your obvious side-by-side characters of Lao and Yan, but you also have Hon Sam and the superintendent, two sides of the same coin as well. They're both kind of leaders of their own group. And the way they conduct themselves is very different, where you see Hon Sam is inherently very distrustful of everyone. Directly after that first operation, he grabs Jan's, what's it called? His cast and smashes it on the table.
That bit, I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Whereas the superintendent is actually, once again, with his relationship with Yan, he's like a really nice guy.
Trusting,
he gives him the birthday present at the start. It's just a totally different dude. Totally different dynamic, which I thought was super cool, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks that both of them died, really. But
but I liked that they didn't have them both die at the same time.
Oh, I know.
I enjoyed having that moment of, as you said, they're two sides of the same coin. What happens if you remove one side of the coin? Then what do you have? What are you left with? And there's that about 10, 15 minutes worth of movie screen time where there is that imbalance. And, Ming is kind of trying to ride the wave of Superintendent Wong and, pull the police force back together and rally the troops and then get them back out there again. I thought that was, really interesting.
And it's at that point I kind of wondered whether, that was kind of Lao's, Ming's intentions at that point, whether he had kind of made this decision. And he clearly does make it in the end that he would rather the life on, the right side of crime for whatever reason, because it's more comfortable, because it's more safe,
because he gets his wife,
because he already has, he's now one of the, most important people in
Senior
the
inspector
department,
or whatever it
as
is.
opposed to with Honsam, he's just a stooge, he's just
He's just the informant.
Mole. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that obviously, finishes up with the second drug deal, where kind of Yan and Ming are working together, and it doesn't work out too great for Honsam.
Mm-hmm.
It works out pretty well for the other two guys.
Yeah.
And it's kind of at that point where you start to go, what's his intentions, what's going through his head about how he wants to move things, because it's almost like Ming, it's almost like the end of an era, almost like like up until then.
They have that flashback to that monologue that Honsam has at the very beginning, where he's like, you have to make a choice or something like that about what your future is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, that's what made that. That's what made Ming's justification for killing Honsam ring through for me, because at first I was like, why did you do that? But then I took a few seconds just to think on what Honsam said, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm picking up what he's putting down.
I'm bloody catching what you're throwing, mate. So that was pretty cool. I think that second drug deal was a bit, if I recall, it's been a day since I watched this, I think it was a bit more chilled out. Nothing sticks out in my mind.
It was
about
more
it, really.
low-key than they have like a car chasey-ish thing, and then they just get stopped by the police and the thing, and then
right, that's what it is.
Honsam crashes the car. Honsam's lackey crashes the car. He books it downstairs. It's just Honsam and Ming, and then Ming
just shoots him.
Yeah.
And it's at that point you're like, so like I said before, working out what you want the future to hold type deal. Up until that point, both of them have just been, working for someone else who makes the big moves, but obviously Yan wants to get his life back. He doesn't want to be masquerading as a criminal anymore. And Ming wants to keep what he has, which in a way seems, I guess, more selfish, you could call it. But he's also clearly changed as a person. He's not just putting on this facade of being a good guy for his own personal gain. He is being a good guy for his own personal gain, Just
riding off of that thought, I think I was not expecting such a psychological element to this movie.
Yeah, right.
In the what makes someone a good guy and what makes them a bad guy. I thought that was really interesting.
It's like, it's not even really that, it's barely talked about in the film, but it's going through your head from about halfway in, when everything sort of wraps up a bit, as it were, and it's no longer the cat and mouse of Honsam and the superintendent, it's the cat and mouse of Ming and Yan, which is kind of, really picks up on the directly after the second operation, and there's that scene in the scene in the police station where Ming is going to, kind of reinstate Yan as a police officer. As that whole scene was going, I have in my notes here, oh no, in all caps, multiple times. Because I was like, oh god.
So I didn't watch this film until it was probably yesterday.
I think it was maybe 24 hours after I did.
Yeah, and John just sends me a little snippet of his notes, and he says that, oh no, and I was like, okay, well, I'm in for a ride.
Directly before that, what does the mole plan to do when he discovers the undercover cop? And it didn't work out too great for him, did it? But that leads to a lot of cool stuff. You've got the standoff on the
rooftop. I just want a cool little moment that I'm not sure whether you would have picked up on or not. But in the beginning, you know how Yan and Superintendent Wong always have their meetings on that rooftop? Mm-hmm. And they pretty much introduce Superintendent Wong again with a shot of his reflection on the building as he's walking across.
Oh, yeah.
They do that shot again, but with Ming in Superintendent Wong's place. So it's as if Ming has taken on the reins of Superintendent Wong, and he is now in that position.
Because, he's clearly... There is the meeting scene, and he's clearly not... He clearly hasn't been just shifted up from where the level he was at to the superintendent, but he's now, especially because he cleared Superintendent Wong, kind of avenged him, as it were, so quickly, so deftly. Everyone now has... that trust and belief, that strong level of respect,
the same
for
way
him.
That they did for Superintendent Wong.
I do wonder
that was a cool little cinematography bit where I was just like, "Ooh, that was unexpectedly
it's clever,
neat." For a
because my brain is just pudding. All I was thinking about was the Matrix. So because they were on a rooftop and looking at reflections in other buildings.
So that's like another 200 movies away. Okay, let's just pump the brakes on that one.
I deeply apologize for that. Oh man, I can't wait to watch the Matrix. Holy shit. I really liked, and it's kind of minor, but just kind of skimming my notes here. I really liked in the kind of earlier scenes. I think there's and correct me if I'm wrong or if you notice this or something, but Lau Ming is very, like, as he's rising the ranks, I think he was like arresting people who were his like former workmates, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I picked that. So, and I think the film is definitely trying to kind of make you pick out which characters are important, which was a bit, that opening scene is a bit short. You don't see those guys' faces for super long, so it was a little hard to pick out.
Yeah.
But you can kind of that kind of shows you the dedication that Ming has to, and at that point you're not sure if it's dedication to to the triad
police force or
to himself, which is kind of interesting. And in that same, I think I've already fluffed on about this, but Yan is having a much shittier time of the whole situation.
Yeah.
While there's these shots of Ming kind of proudly striding through the police, like the station, and
the train
getting all these things done. There's Yan, hiding around behind a corner as a commotion is happening and things like that.
Yeah.
Things like the little secret code. I think it's in the first operation where Lau gets on the phone and goes, I'm calling my father, and he says I won't be home for dinner.
That's right. Yeah.
To Hon Sam. I thought that was pretty cool, and it's all these are all little details.
And that's more like mood setting kind of thing where you're like, okay, this is
But I thought that was really
espionage.
Neat. Yeah. I'm really probably overthinking something that was pretty minor, but
no,
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's yeah. I totally agree with you. That's a cool moment. And the one line that stuck with me, jumping back again to the rooftop sequence with Ming and Yan at the end, where Yan says, I'm a police officer, and then Ming retorts with, "Who knows that?" I was like, which is okay.
I wonder if that was, because I actually have a note I just remembered when the first time Yan is with the therapist. He says he says I'm a cop, and she says so am I. I'm wondering if that was supposed to mirror that in some way.
Yeah.
But actually, thinking about the therapist, I thought the ending was so poignant, where it was truly like Yan deserved a lot better.
Absolutely.
He had this.
He deserved a better life.
His like love interest really loved him as well, and she they were kind of almost progressing their relationship. He had this opportunity to get out and start working a very legitimate lifestyle compared to what he had up till now, and then it just didn't work out, and it was like it was a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. The other guy showing up,
Inspector
but
B,
but then it obviously ties back into Ming then still looking out for himself, killing this undercover police officer to this this informant, the other informant, to keep himself secret. He's gone from he now basically no one knows who he was.
Yeah. That was the ultimate end game for Ming in the official ending, I might add.
Yes.
Is that Ming's end game was to make sure he could erase all knowledge of anyone knowing his former deeds, so that he could try and turn over this new leaf in the police force and live his life proper. But then the alternate ending, that was added as a additional feature on the DVD for Western releases, but I think was used in some Chinese theaters. The alternate ending was released where instead of Ming continuing with the charade of, Inspector B shot Yan and Yan shot Inspector B and, I'm fine, I'm going to continue to be in the police force, the authorities were uncomfortable with the political implications of that ending, of a mole continuing to live on in the police force, and there was a little bit of there being dirtiness amongst the police force. The authorities had a bit took a little bit of grievance with that, and then the alternate ending shows Ming stepping out of the elevator and admitting that it was him who killed them both. And he takes all of the repercussions that follow along with that, which is, him being booted out of the police force. And then it just continues on with the funeral for Yan, and then it ends.
Okay.
I found that very interesting.
I guess depending on how you handle Ming from that point, that could still work very well.
Absolutely.
If
I think that's a very good...
make him out to... what's the word? Kind of recompose for his sins type thing. Like
absolutely,
kind of, I don't know what they did. I very briefly saw this. I did get this alternate ending spoiled for me by reading the summary on IMDb about half an hour ago. But I hadn't heard the details. I think that's good. I think
either ending works, in my opinion. I don't feel ripped off by watching the ending that is, and I don't feel ripped off if I saw the alternate ending. I wouldn't feel ripped off. I think both are equally as emotionally and conceptually intelligent as the other.
Yeah, so I think that the ending with him continuing to be the police officer does play more into that opening thing where I haven't noted down, he who is in continuous hell never dies. Which is, and it pops up. You see, I think that film ends on Ming's face at the funeral.
Yes, with him saluting.
And he's saluting, and he's looking at Yan and the superintendent, and he's like, he is in a continuous hell. He has this guilt on him that will never go away because he, in the end, this was not the ending that Yan deserved. And he is continuing to live his kind of pleasant life as a side effect of that. Whereas if he'd gotten away with it, if Yan had made it out, Ming wouldn't have done that. He probably would have. And, obviously ignoring the alternate ending, my kind of expectation was that he's gone to prison now or something. This is not a good ending for him, but he's made it out at it's caused two other people to have premature deaths. So
the collateral damage will be, on his brain for the rest of his life, which is, interesting. So I was just wondering if you have any other bits and bobs that you enjoyed about the movie. Any?
I have a note here. Pierre and Kyung?
Yep.
The two kind of Waldorf and Statler triad members, who have that one line which we almost use for the intro. The if someone is doing something but they are watching you, then they're a cop, which actually came up at the end. I just remembered that comes up at some point.
Yeah.
Who's it come with? Sorry, did you remember?
No. I just know that I know it does happen. I don't know where, but I know.
Oh no, I think Yan says it to Ming.
Does he?
I think so. In the very last bit.
Oh, in their altercation at the roof.
I think so. I think so. Oh. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. They didn't have loads of kind of screen time, but
what they did, they did well. They did really good.
You can't complain at a good comedy relief character.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially given how tense some of this film is.
Yeah. It's good to have those moments where you can kind of, okay.
And you don't see as much of Pierre, Kyung's death, obviously, after the shootout. And I thought that was really well acted as well.
Absolutely,
Where he's driving away and he seems fine. He seems very agitated. And then you realize you're like, something's a little off about him. And then he just doesn't end
bleeding
well
out.
Poor bastard. Like, man.
And when Kyung finally actually dies, and then it just has that lingering shot on Yan's eyes, and then just Kyung's body falling forward and hitting the horn, and then it just still stays on Yan's eyes. I thought that was really good choice. Good choice. Man. Not to just pan out and do like a shot of the car, to stay really intent on Yan's reaction. I thought was good.
Yan just doesn't work out for him the whole time.
The whole thing, Yan really is getting
he's undercover for 10 years.
Arse end of the horse. Arse end of the donkey.
He's undercover for 10 years. His one friend from the outside world dies, and one of his friends from the real world dies.
His boss dies. His other boss dies.
Yeah. He almost gets out. Well, he almost gets the justice he deserved.
I mean, Ming's boss and his other boss die too, but one of the bosses is through his actions. So. Yeah.
Which, bloody hell, yeah. So that I like those characters a lot, and I think that's something very like a bit silly, but I thought they were a lot of fun.
Yeah. I can toss some trivia at you if you'd like.
Hit me with some trivia. Last note that I've just noticed. I have here at the top of my second page. Lau is so fucking pretty. He's got a really nice face.
Lau does have he does have a very appealing face,
to that
doesn't
man.
he? Yeah.
Sorry, hit me with that trivia, baby.
A real chiseled jaw.
He's so good looking. God damn it.
Very, very pleasing facial structure.
And I guess. Oh god. Now I'm like going off on it again. But he's very like, I guess, traditionally attractive, whereas
Yan is a bit more
very
scrappy,
kind of grizzled looking.
Yeah, and that's why he would fit into the undercover thing more. Yeah, it's clever.
I think there's the photo on the record of him where he's like clean shaven and he like.
Oh yeah.
He looks so much happier.
Yeah. He was I'm gonna join the police force and make a name of myself.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Like a bullet entering my skull. Okay, so in talking about Ming, the actor Andy Lau, I did a little bit of background digging on him because I thought he was between him and Hon Sam. Those two were the highlights for me. Those two actors were the highlights of this movie for me. Yan comes at a close third, but I don't know. I enjoyed their performances a lot. So I did a little bit of digging on Andy Lau Takwah, who is the guy who plays Lau Ming. And according to IMDb, he was one of Hong Kong's most commercially successful film actors since the mid-1980s. He performed in more than 160 films while maintaining a successful singing career at the same time.
Wow. That's impressive.
In the 1990s, Lau was branded by the media as one of the 4 heavenly kings of Canto Pop.
Whoa.
Lau was entered into the Guinness World Records for the most awards won by a Canto Pop male artist. Do you want to know how many awards he won?
How many awards did he win, Douglas?
By April 2000, he had already won a total unprecedented 292 awards.
Whoa! Holy shit!
By April of 2000, correct.
He's still acting.
Correct.
That's crazy.
In 2005, Lau was awarded #1 box office actor between 1985 and 2005 of Hong Kong, yielding a total box office of 1 billion, my apologies.
Okay. I was like, that's a lot of money.
1,733,275,816 Hong Kong dollars.
Oh, okay.
for shooting 108 films in the past 20 years.
Holy shit.
So, how about that?
He is going hard.
That man hustled in 20 years' time and did it well.
That's amazing.
And
he's still doing...
Absolutely. He's still active. He's still performing,
still doing like
still singing.
Films a year, 3 films a year.
Correct.
He's still singing.
Yep.
Wow. What's his... Is he just Andrew...
Andy Lau.
Or is he... Andy Lau. Is
Yep.
he... I wonder if it's his actual Hong Kong name.
Anyway, it did say his real...
For, like, music.
His birth name. I'd say Andy Lau would be his performing title.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And then his real name, I think, is...
I think I had it there on the IMDb page. I was just looking at
Did.
I believe it's...
Lau Fock Wing is his birth name.
Fockwing? Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Don't judge by pronunciation.
No, it's all right. I was looking at something different.
Moving on. But yeah, that was just interesting to see all of that information about him. So yeah, he's quite prolific in Hong Kong.
That's amazing. Because the directors obviously they've done fine for themselves, but they are, just skimming their.
They're just very well known for this. They basically made this and they were like, okay, let's just rival royalties for the rest of our lives for this bad boy. Yeah.
Which, like, I guess fair enough.
Yeah. As you can probably see in the trivia there that you're reading right now, we're pretty much going to rewatch this movie. Because Scorsese's The Departed is number 45 on our list.
Wow, okay. I am really excited to compare them.
Scorsese said that he claims he didn't know he was remaking this film. So he had, apparently, allegedly, he had no idea that this film existed and that he was writing his own, kind of Scorsese Irish, cop in the thing. And it's the same plot, but it's set in I think Ireland. I'm not sure.
I'm really glad I watched this first.
Correct. So am I. I think.
I feel because I only found out that it was, people call it the predecessor to The Departed or that kind of thing.
Correct.
I only found out about that after the fact, and I'm glad I wasn't making any comparisons or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen The Departed or no?
I have not.
Cool. Good. Neither have I. So that's great.
So we'll knock that out in, I don't know, 8 years or whenever we get up to that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good to know that that's there. That's something that we'll be able to approach this idea again, and we'll be able to look back on our very first episode and see what we thought of it, and then
far out.
Then I
don't even think about that.
We'll catch it again.
Something like that
on the way.
Bloody see you around, Andy.
Yeah.
Except not Andy.
Wait, which Andy?
Andy Lau.
Which Andy?
Andy, not Andrew.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, the actor, not the director.
Okay, right. I'm with you now. Okay.
FYI, if you hadn't made the connection, dear listener, one of the directors' name is Andrew Lau, and the starring actor is Andy Lau.
I should add that. I think I did say that, but I do want to clarify. The man who won the 292 awards and is a singer-songwriter and all that jazz, that's Andy Lau. That's the actor. That's not the director. I do want to clarify that.
Well, the director is still going off, but he's got
but he hasn't won 292
awards. He's got
awards,
a quarter of the credits that our man Andy has.
He's no Andy. He might be an Andrew, but he's no Andy.
He's an Andrew, but would you really want to be an Andrew when you could be an Andy?
I think we should relate all actors to see whether they're an Andy or an Andrew. So,
I love this.
Yeah, I think there's got to be the line where you're either an Andy or you're an Andrew. There's no in between.
You're either an Andy or you're just an Andrew.
You're just Andrew. Man, if we were watching Hot Fuzz, we could have done a whole. Oh man, that's why they call them the Andys.
Are they both referred to as Andrew or Andy though, or is one referred to as one and one the other?
Because
that seems like a missed opportunity. Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
if you didn't do that.
Duh. I don't know. It's been too long. It's been too long since I've seen Hot Fuzz. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a little bit.
Gotta fill up that yearly quota. We're only a week into January as of time of filming.
You know what? I think we last watched it. I think we last watched it at Easter. when we were both in the same room.
I think, yeah, actually. Oh yeah, we did.
think
We
that's what
totally
it
did
was.
too. Yeah.
We watched it because we watched Hot Fuzz and then we watched Snatch the next
That's
day.
right.
So it's been a little bit, but we've got a couple months.
Yeah.
And then we have to watch it again. We are legally bound to watch Hot Fuzz once again. Hot Fuzz,
Should we-
a police crime drama that is very different
Miles
to
away from
Infernal
this.
Affairs. It's slightly different.
Should we do an episode for Hot Fuzz? Do you think?
What a stupid question. Of
Okay,
course we're
okay,
going to do an episode.
we'll do
for
an
it.
episode.
And we're doing it at Easter because now we've brought it up.
Okay.
And now we
yeah.
have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll squeeze that in as like a little bonus. Great. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else to add for Infernal Affairs? Any last remarks?
Closing remarks. Watch this film. It's very good.
Absolutely.
And I think it's also just fun. I am very excited to continue watching a lot of international films.
Yeah, I think I'm really glad we started with a foreign film
Yeah.
because there's so many foreign films on this list where I'm like, oh, this could be anything, like, I don't know what I'll get into here because there is undoubtedly a cultural boundary between, what we find entertaining, what, I don't know, Western culture, I guess, might find entertaining, and what Eastern culture finds entertaining is, they're undeniably two very different things. And I think
I watched Nichijou. That's a weird comedy.
and I think that's Nichijou is good. I didn't
Nichijou
used to
is
like
good,
Nichijou.
but
It
it's
used to
very,
frustrate.
But
me.
it's very different.
Yeah, but I got into it.
Sorry.
No, I'm suitably excited now to see what little hidden gems foreign films have.
There's one Indian one coming up, and it is
It's
comedy sort of.
Dash Yam.
It's about an alien.
Oh no, PK. That's PK.
PK, that's right.
PK's the
That
2014.
I'm very interested.
Yeah, to see what that's all about. Yeah.
I have no idea what to expect. Although I gather it's not like a big Bollywood.
I was gonna say I don't think it's big
song and dancing thing.
Bollywood production, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make
That'll
any.
be interesting.
I don't want to make any preconceptions about it because
Exactly.
yeah,
But I don't think I would have seen this film if it wasn't for it being on this list.
yeah,
so that's
absolutely,
just
agreed.
so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool. And I'm probably gonna search around some of the other stuff that. What is this? The Battle of Algiers. It just has a cool cover, and I want to watch it now.
We have the Battle of Algiers on the list.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It
two
is-
movies away.
Oh wow. Okay. Stay tuned, folks.
Just cut the podcast right there. That's the cliffhanger.
Don't touch that dial.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I agree with John's sentiment. The good movie. If you haven't already told
I
by
was
us
blown away.
batting
by
on
how
about
good
it for
this
an
was.
hour. Yeah, it's really solid.
We've had no trouble. We could probably talk for another hour or two about
Absolutely.
this. Honestly, we could probably find
super
enough
worth
stuff
the
to tear
time.
up. So
Yeah,
highly recommended.
yeah,
Stamp of approval.
yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the 250, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.
We'll bloody see you next time, fellas.
See you next. Oh, we're already in next year. Shit. Fuck.
Yes.
Can you cut that? Can you cut that? Don't
Yeah,
prove
okay,
it. Okay, thank you.
No, it's fine though.
Thank you.
Yeah, I cut it.
You cut it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, what? Wait.
No. Did you cut it?
I didn't cut it.
Shit.
I didn't cut it.
Why didn't you
Sorry.
cut it? Fuck.
Okay, see ya.
Okay, bye.